What is going on, guys? Happy Sunday. Welcome to the 20th episode. That's right, 20th episode of the Sunday Spin. Super excited to be here today. I got three very intelligent, awesome gentlemen lined up for some great information, not only about Panama, but their views on the world, the views on the market, and just a lot of great information that you're going to want to check out. First up, we have today Dusty Tubbs, freelance writer, investment advisor with DNC Global Consulting LLC. Really looking forward to connecting with him. Right after that, we're going to have Charles Burrows with Empire Consulting Group. He'll coming up right after Dusty. He's got some great information as well. Actually, he's got a feature in the latest edition of the Restaurant and Travel magazine, and I've just been getting tons of great feedback from the community on his article in there. So if you want to check that out, if you don't have a physical copy, you can always pick up the Restaurant and Travel magazine digitally at dopanama.com. You'll see the second slide on the website on the main section there. It will say read the Restaurant Travel magazine now. Go ahead and click that and you can read that magazine right there. And then right after Charles, we'll have Mr. Michael Vuytowecz, our great sponsor with Inside Panama. Yes, that's right. The founder of Inside Panama will be joining us at the end of the show. And guys, super cool. We have two listings today, two beautiful, beautiful properties that have just recently been listed, or should I say just recently had videos made for them. So we're going to check those out. Guys, remember, get the free ebook from Inside Panama Real Estate. All the information you need to know to start your journey coming to Panama. To pick that up, all you got to do is email them, free ebook at ipreinfo.com. And Mike Vuytowecz, who we'll be talking to at the end of the show today, will not only respond, but he'll send you that email with the free ebook. And again, he likes to help people in every which way he can on coming to Panama as well. Don't forget, dopanama.com. We're all about helping you. If you're up in the United States, if you're in Canada, in Europe, we see the world. We're down here in the paradise. It's getting crazy out there. I know that Mike and every other gentleman on here, including myself, have a lot of people reaching out recently about coming down to Panama. You know, there's so many advantages about living in Panama, besides for that beautiful weather, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Guys, let's jump into this intro real quick, and then we're going to be with our first guest today. That's right, Dusty Tubbs. Really looking forward to talking with him. We'll see you guys in just a couple seconds. All right. Well, let's welcome our first guest today. That's right. The one and only Dusty Tubbs, freelance writer and investment advisor with DNC Consulting LLC. Dusty, how you doing today, my friend?
Hey, Austin. It's just great to be here with you today. It's another beautiful day here in Azuero. It's the best part of all of Panama. So thanks for having me on your show. It's exciting here to be with you.
Oh, man, it's the pleasure's mine. You know, I've just recently gotten or began to know Dusty, and this gentleman is just truly a blessing to life. You know, I really am attracted to people with good energy, uplifting spirits. And, you know, you call Dusty, and he is just so fabulous right off the bat on the phone. So ever want to talk to Dusty, definitely want to reach out to him. In the link here on the show, he's actually got a newsletter. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but I just want people to know, if you want to get his newsletter, there is a link in the text of the show. Dusty, tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you lived in Panama, and what attracted you initially to move to this area of the world.
Okay, but just to clarify as we start here, I am not a certified financial advisor or a counselor or a manager. Probably the only thing that I am certified at is being crazy. But yeah. As for how long we've been living here, Carol and I have been here living full time for over 7 years now. It is the number one reason for moving here was the climate. And in the 7+ years that we've been here, not once have I had to shovel snow, chip ice off the car. No cold weather. There is cold weather in Panama, just not where I go to. You go up to Volcan and Burrows, and there's definitely some chilly weather up there.
Well, and I wouldn't so much say cold like ice picking cold, but cooler. It's definitely cooler. You're right.
Well, let me put things in perspective here. We live in Chitre, which is in the Azuero Peninsula. So we're halfway across the country of Panama. We're the little box that hangs off of the mainland here. And there are times living here in Chitre when I do have to wear a jacket or a long sleeve heavy shirt, because sometimes the temperature drops down to a cool 70 degrees, sometimes a little below that. And for me, that's chilly. So I love it here. We also moved here because of a lower cost of living. Living here, we've been able to achieve the American dream. We can live life the way that we want to, free from government over-regulations, free from racial tensions, pretty much free to do anything and everything that we want to do and that I used to be able to do growing up as a kid in California. By nature, I am a teacher, an educator, a trainer, and I guess you could say a storyteller. So
awesome.
Yeah, here at DC Global Consulting, we are veterans helping other veterans or people, just helping people. We tell, we don't sell. We listen and advise. And I guess to sum it up, Austin, if you wanted to, you could say that we're a concierge service that helps our clients connect the dots.
I love it. Well, and that's one of the most important. It's interesting too that you bring up there's no racial division, and one of my favorite parts about Panama is just how loving the culture is. Whether you're Panamanian, you're Venezuelan, you're Colombian, or any other nationality from Europe. Obviously, there's quite a few Americans from the United States, and of course, we got a lot of Canadians down here as well. We're coming up on Christmas. I know we're getting a mini lockdown, and I know a lot of people aren't excited about that. It's not fun, but it shows that the reason we're getting locked down, we're locked down for Christmas and a couple days after Christmas, New Year's and a couple days after New Year's. And there's only one reason for that. It's because Panamanian people are so freaking fun and cool. And everybody we're naturally social here. The community everybody likes to get together and have a good time. And sometimes with our beautiful weather and our beautiful beaches, it's hard not to. So I get why they're doing it, just because that's the way of the culture. So I want to talk a little bit more about. I know you've done quite a bit of writing. Tell us about your background in writing, and what are some of your focal points of what you write about in the recent days?
Oh, wow. Well, my writing started, I guess, about 6 years ago. Or you could say it actually started in the military, because you're writing one report after another in the military. No matter what you do, you're writing something else, evaluations or something. But as a writer, a little over 6 years ago, I attended an AWAI, American Writers and Artists Institute. They had a boot camp for copywriting, and I went and attended that. And that started my official copywriting career. So it all started with an idea of a way to document Carolyn and I, our journey, our adventures. If you want to, you could say it was a love story that I was writing, because it's all about our love for each other and our adventures as we started on this new journey overseas. My focus as a writer has been on anything Panama. So in the time that we've been here, we've gone from everywhere from the Darien all the way over to the Costa Rican border. So the history of bananas, the history of anything. Not much on the northern side, because the northern side, the Caribbean side of Panama, is still a little rough around the edges.
They do like to party over there.
Yeah, well, and there's more crimes, more drugs, more. It's just the rougher edges of Panama right now. So we focus pretty much. We're blessed because we live here in the cradle of Panama, Panama's history and culture. We live in what I call the La Corazón de Panama. It is the heart of Panama. And when you go back 5,000 years, there was a colony of people that lived here in this area. So this predates the canal and predates the Spaniards and everything else. So Panama, basically, the embryo is right here in the Azuero. So we get to see that and experience that. Everything in the way of Panamanian culture and Panamanian folklore all started here and is still alive and well here, and we love it. So I love writing about all of that, as well as other opportunities throughout Panama. As you know, Panama is not for everyone, but there is something in Panama for everyone. Of
course.
So it's figuring out who you are, what you like, and or as I like to tell people, more importantly, figure out what you don't like, and then go from there. Be open for adventures, and that's pretty much what I write about. That's what created my writing back then. And it's not just Panama. We haven't traveled in 9 months, obviously, but as we travel around other Latin American countries, we write about where we are and what's going on, and are always looking for investment opportunities.
Gotcha. And speaking of, you mentioned early on in the show that you like to help veterans and even other people that are not veterans. But what types of things do you advise them on?
You need to read issue 9 that just came, or issue 10 that just came out today. It's funny that you ask that, because when people say, "Oh, what should I invest in?" my answer is, you shouldn't. If you have no idea what you're doing, don't do it. Oh, can you teach me how to invest in the stock market? No, and I won't. However, I can point you into a direction where you can learn about that, and I'll be glad to answer questions, but I don't give specific stock advice. But there is a great way of investing. Now, there's a difference between investing and earning money. If you need to put food on the table, do not look at the stock market, and do not look at investing. You need to earn money, not invest money. But in looking and trying to help people reach financial independence, you look at the whole book of investment opportunities and pick the chapter that fits you best and what you're trying to do on. And that's what I try to work with. So if you want to get into I've got $10,000 and I want to put it somewhere and make 6-8% interest, I can do that for you. I know a great vehicle to do that. It's not stocks, but it's looking at diversification. You want to keep your portfolio well diversified. I used to think I was diversified when I was in California because I had a little bit of stocks in 5 different sectors. So I was diversified across the sectors of the stock market. That's not diversification.
No.
True diversification is not having all of your money in one currency, not having all of your eggs in one basket, not being totally invested in just one country. So not to pick on the United States, but let's say the dollar collapses and the U.S. economy just folds in on itself, kind of like it is. Now, what do? If you totally require your livelihood on the U.S. dollar, you're stuck. But if I have something coming in euros or something coming in yen, or I have money invested in gold and silver, then I have other avenues of creating income. So what I try to tell people is you want to stop working for your money, and you want to make your money start working for you. And it's not about, it's not about trying to work smarter, not harder. It's about not working at all. Stop working and let your money work. And then passive income is the best way. But to get to passive income, you have to achieve financial freedom first, financial independence. So we talk about all of that and try to get people to focus on achieving their own financial independence. The new buzzword today is FIRE, F-I-R-E, financial independence, retire early. I say it's too late for me to retire early. I don't care about retiring. I tell people not to think about retiring, but I want you to stop working, and I want you to start doing something you enjoy, like you are. Do something you enjoy. It's not work. You're having fun, and then the money that you make from that, invest and let it make more money for you.
I love it. And let's talk to the people real quick. You got this newsletter week. It's a weekly newsletter. And how do they go about signing up for that? I believe I put the link in the text below. If you guys don't see that after the show, or if you want to email me directly, austin@dopanama.com, I'll make sure you get the link. My apologies if you don't see it. But talk to us. If there's somewhere like they can click a link besides there, or they can go to a website.
They can. And to make it easy on them and on you, Austin and I, for the people that don't know yet, we now have a partnership with Do Panama Relocation. So send an email to moreinfo@DoPanama, and I'll get back to you. Send an email to dusty@dcglobalconsulting.com. But we are also on LinkedIn and Facebook, and we have our website. Our website is www.dcglobalconsultingllc.com. There's a link there for the newsletter. Send me a WhatsApp. I'll send you a link for it. There are links all over the place. The newsletter is free. And last week, I was able to announce that thanks to a very, very generous offer from a publisher in Panama City. You've heard of them, dopanama.com. They have authorized and allowed me to include the link for the restaurant and travel magazine. So if you can't pick up a copy, sign up for our newsletter. The link is in it. Absolutely. Love it. I have people out here in Chitre and the Azuero that are just so excited because they miss seeing your magazine. They miss getting the Good Times Panama. And I'm saying, hey, you don't have to miss it anymore. Sign up for the newsletter. I got the link. You'll get every issue of Austin's magazines as well as everything else. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about this. Obviously, I mean, gee, let me throttle it back a little bit here. So it's a great opportunity for them to stay connected. And as we've launched our business, issue 10 just went out. It's been an incredible journey so far, but I'm amazed because issue 9, we talked about entrepreneurship. You are a perfect example of an entrepreneurship that's been successful here in Panama. There's a couple here in Chitre that I highlighted. The guy, his father is Palestinian, married to a Panamanian. The young man worked for Copa Airlines until he got laid off. So he started a business and being very, very successful at it. There's a Puerto Rican that moved down from New Jersey that opened up a restaurant and is being very successful at it. And I just met a guy from Ohio, married to a Panamanian that makes furniture. It is some of the best furniture you can find in Panama. Another example of an entrepreneurship that is here in Panama and being successful. So stop working for somebody else, put your creative cap on, sit down and do a good business plan, open up your own business, and let's have some fun.
I love it, Dusty. I love it. Oh, man, it's been a great conversation. I appreciate you taking some of your time today on this beautiful Sunday. I know you said it's beautiful out there. I've heard it's beautiful over in the beach towns. I can see Mike in the back stage there. He's got a beautiful view. We're going to be talking to Mike, guys. Remember, we're going to be talking to Mike at the end of the show. And actually, right when we finish up here with Dusty, we're going to play our first listing. And again, these are 2 new listings, beautiful videos. But I want to thank you again, Dusty. Thank you so much. And I look forward to talking to you very soon.
My pleasure. You and your wife have a very wonderful and Merry Christmas, and we'll see you all later.
Thank you so much. All right, guys, so we're going to play this first listing of the day. Don't forget, we will be talking all about this listing and more with Michael Vuytowecz here at the end of the show. But first, we got Charles Burrows from Empire Consulting Group coming up in just a couple minutes. Let's take a look at this listing because it's one beautiful house. Guys, we'll see you in just a second. All right. Well, that was a beautiful listing. Guys, we got Charles Burrows, Empire Consulting. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks. How you doing, Austin?
Hey, we got a little feedback. Do you have the show open on another device by chance?
Yeah, sure. Hang on a second.
No worries. All right, guys. Hope you like that listing. Remember, we'll be talking to Mr. Michael Vuytowecz right after this interview, and he'll be telling us all about that listing, where it's located, how you can get more information. Don't forget, you guys can also email free ebook at ipreinfo.com to not only get that free ebook, but to get information on any listing you see on the show today, or either of the two, or of course, any listings they have. They have hundreds upon hundreds of listings. I think Charles is getting it set up there, and hopefully we don't got any feedback when we come back with Charles, because I got some really good questions. You know, as I mentioned, Mr. Burrows he's got an article in the Restaurant and Travel magazine. If you haven't received your copy, again, you can get this magazine digitally online and read all about this great interview and more. I see Charles here on another screen. I'm going to pull him up. If you don't have this magazine, though, guys, go to dopanama.com. Again, right there on the main screen, second slide, it's a little advert for the magazine. Click read now, and you will be able to read that article as well. Let's switch over to Charles here. Hey, Charles, how's it going there?
Good, thanks. I'm just trying to sort this out. I'm sorry, I had to convert to a new computer, which required a webcam, but it hasn't been working. Are you getting feedback there, Austin?
No, you're good, my friend. You're good.
Okay, great. Hold on one second. I'm just adjust here.
No worries. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you ended up moving to Panama.
Okay.
You're muted there, Charles. All right, guys, hang with us.
Okay, great. How about now?
There you go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. We got Charles Burrows, Empire Consulting Group. Charles, tell us about yourself, where you're from, and how you ended up moving to Panama.
Okay, so I'm English originally, spent the last 20 years in Brazil, in Sao Paulo. I moved to Panama coming up to 2 years ago now. I've been working in one of the biggest cities in the world, and I've been looking to give a better quality of life to my family more than anything. You know, I think you can sometimes lose sight of what's important in life, and you're always running after the money and the success of your business. But when you look back, you know, you've got to be able to spend some time with your kids. You want them to have a good quality of life. So I was looking for a long time to get out. It was just really difficult to find the right place. And for us, Panama, I mean, it ticks all the boxes. You know, it's the safest region in Central or Latin America by far. It's probably the most well adapted for people who have no foreign experience. So you don't necessarily have to speak Spanish to survive in Panama. You know, everyone speaks English, and you have. So I think it's the most first world of the Central and Latin American countries that you could choose. So from the safety point of view, the quality of life, and everything else, and obviously the tax point of view, it just ticked all the boxes for us. And you know, we came here and we never looked back. We just love our lives, and especially now when you're in this situation of lockdown, we really realize what a good decision it was. You know, moving out of the city and the cramped environments, and having the beach and having the golf courses, and we don't feel like we're in lockdown, even though, you know, we go into these moments of lockdown. I don't feel like I'm restricted of anything. So it was a really, really good move that we did, and we're really happy to have done it.
Awesome. I love to hear it because, yeah, I mean, typically everyone you talk to that's made the move to Panama, enjoying their new lifestyle, it's an incredible place to live. Now, speaking on the consulting, your consulting experience, talk to us about Empire Consulting and what does your company do?
Okay, well, I've worked for 20 years in finance, from banking to private investment advisory companies, family offices. And around 6 years ago, we created Empire Consulting with a very different concept. And the concept was to try and offer people completely independent advice, which is very, very difficult to come by, particularly because there's almost always a vested interest, whether you're in a family office. A bank manager works for the bank. He's trying to sell you the products of the bank. You know, a family office, they have their own financial interests. And a lot of the time, investment funds will come along and promote their funds by incentivizing them through backdoor commissions in order to sell the funds. So it's very difficult to really get true independence advice. And this was a problem that I had, working with banks and with financial institutions. I felt like I was somewhat of a glorified financial salesman rather than an actual investment advisor, because the bank's always going to advise you to buy their products, but their products might not be the best products in the market that you could buy. So I wanted to find a way to actually create a company that offered true independent financial advice, which would allow people to invest anywhere in the world. I saw Dusty mention a couple of great things about diversification. The problem is many of the banks or investment accounts people will have restrict them to the US stock market or to investments just in dollars. So a lot of the people that we attend have more of an international global view. People maybe lived abroad or plan to retire abroad. And they start to understand it's extremely important to be able to access many other areas of the world. So essentially what Empire is an independent financial consultancy firm. We never touch people's money. They don't open accounts with us. They don't send money to us. So there's no financial risk. We just use our knowledge and expertise to guide them in any market, whether that's Brazil, whether that's Panama, whether it's the US, whether it's outside the US and Europe, China, Asia. It doesn't matter. That's basically what we provide is what we call complete open architecture access to the global markets. Awesome.
So let's just say someone, for example, has $100,000. They come to you tomorrow and they want to get into the stock market. What do you tell them?
Similar to Dusty. That's a bad start, right? The problem, I see this problem over and over. A lot of people will go into their bank, or they'll have money on deposit in the bank, and the bank will call them up and say, "Hey, let's invest in this." There's a huge problem with that, because before you can do anything in life, whether it's start a business or invest your money, you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan A, a plan B, a plan C. You need to have a strategy. You would never be able to assess your performance or manage any kind of variations that happen if you haven't prepared for them. So, before we sit down with a client and before a client wants to invest, we must get to know them and really understand what are their short, medium, and long-term goals. So just saying, "Oh, I've got 100,000 to invest," doesn't really mean anything to me. What we need to establish first of all is, what does that money mean to you? What are you investing it for? What's the objective? When are you going to need that money? What kind of liquidity do you need on that money? What kind of risks you can afford to take? Because the longer time horizon you have, the more volatility you can potentially embrace. But the shorter time horizon you have, the more risk any short-term volatility could present to you. So it's generally what I'd normally do, Austin, with a client, is to take a profile and what we call building a financial map. So they've got a map that they can follow that can guide us, so we don't take too much risk, or we don't take enough risk to achieve the financial goals. And the way that we do, unfortunately, because I've had to convert to the phone, I don't think I'm going to be able to share my screen. I don't know if you can share your screen and I could guide you to the website, and you could people could see this. Is that possible?
No, I don't. Yeah, let's just you can probably just share a link. I did share a link to get to your website in the text of the show.
Okay, no problem. Okay, no, I'll talk you through it. So essentially on our website, we have what is called the Ultimate Retirement Calculator. So I'd ask the question, okay, how old are you today? Maybe, 45 years old, let's say. Do you have kids? What is your financial goal? What do you have in assets today? Oh, the client is 45 years old, has $500,000 in assets. His objective is to retire by 55 or 60. He'd like to have an income of at least $4,000 a month from his assets. We work out inflation and the potential increase of inflation in the future. And it's a very simple calculation that we do through our calculator that's on our website. And it will come out and say, okay, well, for this client to invest over the next 10 years with the amount of money he has today, it will show us the growth rate he needs to get to in order to achieve his goal. So basically what we're trying to discover, first of all, is what we call the magic number. And what is your magic number? And the magic number is the percentage return that you actually need to achieve your goal.
Gotcha.
Now, if that percentage return came out and said, "Oh, Austin, you need 12% a year return on your money," and you said, "Well, Charles, I'm a conservative investor," well, you'd need to be taking risks that aren't really in line with your conservative nature, in order to achieve that 12%. So you can either accept that you're going to take more risk to achieve that goal, or you're going to have to save a larger amount of money to compensate the difference. Or instead of retiring at 55, you're going to have to accept retiring at 60 so you can get there with the right kind of return that you're looking for. So this is all the fundamental. It's kind of like when you go to a doctor. If you go to the doctor and say, I feel sick, he's not going to give you medicine without understanding, doing a diagnosis and understanding really what's the right medicine for your situation. So it's exactly the same as what we do, is to help people understand, build a map. And then when they've got that compass to understand where they're going, we say, okay, well, now we know what your number is, what we need to achieve every year. How are we going to do that? And then we can look at all the possibilities in the market. Now, the next problem that most people have is they don't understand the market. It can be extremely confusing. There's millions of investment opportunities. So another thing we try and do is to simplify their investments. A lot of people overcomplicate things. A lot of people try to become traders with zero experience. Particularly now, we've got interest rates worldwide at very, very low levels. So that means people no longer can just put money in the bank. Retirees can't just have low risk investments paying them cash incomes, and they're forced to go out in the market and take more risks. The people that would own government bonds and corporate bonds that used to get 5 or 6% return aren't even getting half of that right now. So then they'll go and look for maybe stocks which pay a 5% dividend. But the stock market is inherently more volatile and risky than the fixed income market. And the next problem is, especially if you don't have a plan, what happens if the market suddenly drops 20, 30%? Have you got the stomach to hold on to that and not panic and sell it? Have you got a strategy to buy more when it goes down? Because if you don't have a plan, when it happens, you're going to act on emotion. And generally, human emotion will always ruin anything you do in finance, anything you do in terms of investments. So I'll give you 2 examples. The first human emotion is fear. So that is why most people will sell their assets after they drop 30, 40%, because they get scared they're going to lose more, only to find the market bounces back up. Or the worst thing that's happening, I think, a lot right now is that many investors are playing around in the stock market and getting some good results. And that makes them feel that they are, they are
Superman.
I'm going to do this the rest of my life. This is an easy way to make money. And unfortunately, eventually, the reality of the market will come back and bite them, and they end up losing money. So it's extremely important that people, I think, don't play around in the stock market if they don't know what they're doing. And people try and understand there's many ways that they can improve the returns on their investments without necessarily increasing risk. So what I mean by that is that, banks, particularly banks, but most financial services, there is so many hidden fees and charges. If you go on the internet and just give you an example. If you put in UBS fees, like UBS, one of the biggest investment banks in the world, and you put in fees, now all banks have to produce a document that shows all their fees. They've got a 42-page document on all the fees and incentives, because they've had to be honest about this. It's a new regulation in the market after a ruling a few years ago. And you're talking 42 pages of fees. Now, most people don't see those fees because they're built in behind the scenes within the products, within everything else. Now, if you can eliminate those fees, you're talking about maybe improving the growth of your portfolio 3, 4, 5%, 6% a year, because you're not paying for all those costs that are involved with accessing the market. So this is one thing that we do, is we help people to basically go straight to the source and cut out all the sales and distribution. And that alone can help people to get returns. Typically today, a low risk return would be 5%. We can get low risk returns in the region of 8% by eliminating these fees. So, it's all about educating the client, educating them on what they need to do, educating them on how they should have a strategy to understand what they're doing, and then how they can find the best products with the best return in the marketplace.
Well, and you said earlier on the show, and I want to go over this real quick, because, typically, at least, from someone that's not really in investment stock market, you said that the clients never send you money. How does that work? How do you invest for them? Or do you not do that? You just create a program and then give it to them?
So again, it's a shame I can't share my screen, but maybe we could do another one another time where we share the screens. But essentially, it's like this. We wanted to build a company whereby we weren't offering any extra risk, any counterparty risk, because in order to do business with people, if you can eliminate that, then they don't have to have that other concern. Well, who is Empire? Who is Charles? So if we can eliminate that, that's going to facilitate the potential of doing business with anybody.
Of course.
So the big question is, how do we make our money? Well, first of all, in order to do business, the client keeps their money in their account, and we just look at ways that we can improve the portfolio, improve the strategy. We might open other accounts that are more efficient for them anywhere in the world, or bank accounts, but that is your account. That is, as you as a client, you're always in control of your money. Money never comes to our company. We will sign an agreement with our clients, which we charge an administration fee and a performance fee. But unlike banks, which will charge you immediately straight from the outset, we will only charge you if we achieve the goals that we say that we can achieve, which we think is fair. When with banks, you will pay up front, and even if you lose money, you're paying your fees for them to lose your money. So, I think that the way that we set up our business is a lot more fairer way of doing things, and it means that we have to be very
perform. Yeah, you got to promise. Yeah, of course, that's awesome.
Yeah,
and then go ahead.
So just to reiterate on that, I mean, we charge an administration fee of 0.5% if we hit that magic number that the client needs, and if we don't, they don't pay us anything. But then if we exceed that, we charge a 20% performance fee for every 1% above. So if you are doing better than you expected, then we participate by 20% of the extra that you get.
Awesome. And then if someone wants to reach out to you, find out more information, schedule an appointment, how do they go about doing that? I think I put the link in there. Guys, if you need a link, again, reach out to me, whether you want to talk with Mike, Charles, or Dusty, any of the gentlemen throughout the show. But Charles, is there any information that you can give them besides that to reach out to you?
Yeah, well, obviously on our website, which is empire-consulting.net, we have all our contact information on there. If you want to speak to me, there's a Panama number on there where you can WhatsApp me or call me directly. We also have a link to the calendar, so you can book your own meeting directly in a calendar, speak to myself or one of our consultants. And also, I believe you have a link to that you're posting somewhere. But alternatively, just send an email to Austin. I mean, Austin will direct you to us, no problem whatsoever.
Yes, absolutely. And I got to mention again, Charles has got a great article in here. I have lots of readers that have reached out about the interview we did in the magazine. They said they love the article. They want more. So it's a pleasure having you in the publication. I always like to hear great feedback, of course. And I appreciate you coming on the show today. It's too bad that the screen didn't work, but I definitely want to maybe discuss, like what you're talking about is really interesting, and how to teach people. And really, you put the program together with them with the education, which obviously is very important, for people to understand what their money's doing. How is it being invested? It would be great. Maybe we did something in the future, bring you on again in maybe a shorter time and kind of just maybe pinpoint a couple different investment options or subjects.
Well, yeah, the problem with this, Austin, is that there are so many different facets. I mean, I could talk for hours and hours. There's so many different subjects, particularly now with the stock market being so high, interest rates being so low. Investors, a lot of investors don't know what the hell is going on, why things are happening the way they are, or what they should be doing. And I'd love to be able. A big objective of mine, a big goal of mine is just helping people, right? So I'm happy to talk to people whether they want to be a client or not. If I can help people add knowledge in any way possible so that can improve their financial planning or improve their knowledge of the markets or whatever it may be, I'm happy to give my time away free of charge. But yeah, I mean, if you'd like to do a regular slot, I could maybe break up into some subjects, and that might be really beneficial for certain people because they could focus on particular subjects that would be interesting or pertinent to their needs. But yeah, if you'd like to do that, I'd be more than happy to do a regular slot with you, no problem.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we get your screen on next time. And I appreciate you coming on this Sunday. It looks like, I see everyone in the background here in the backstage, and everyone's got a beautiful blue sky behind them. So it's wonderful to see that a couple days before Christmas, where typically growing up as a child, I'd be freezing my booty off. And, after the show, I might go for a swim. Hey, I don't know, a walk in the park. So again, Charles, I appreciate you coming on the show today. We'll be seeing you again soon. Guys, we're going to watch the second listing today. Again, this is from Inside Panama Real Estate. And right after this listing, we're going to bring Michael Vuytowecz, founder of Inside Panama Real Estate, on the show. We're going to talk about these two listings, and he's got some big news coming up for the 2021 year that's just right around the corner. Thanks again, Charles, and we'll be talking to you soon, my friend.
Thanks, Austin. Have a great day.
Ciao.
See you.
All right. Well, that was the second listing of the day. Got my good friend, Mr. Michael Vuytowecz. Like I said, I saw you in the backstage there, man. Beautiful day here in the city. Beautiful day out in Coronado. How are you doing today, Mr. Michael Vuytowecz?
Great, Austin. It's always a pleasure to be with you. And you're right. It's another beautiful day here in Coronado.
During that video, I could see my I guess I don't call it a beach house. My wife always calls it the beach house. It's not on the beach, but it's on the golf course. And man, that golf course is gorgeous, huh?
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Dang, I miss coming out there. I need to get out there. It's been an interesting year, but I think 2021 we're gonna have to hit the links a lot more, huh?
You're overdue. You're overdue.
Hey, I went to the driving range here in the city the other day, and I was feeling kind of Tiger Woodish, you know.
I saw the photos.
Awesome. So let's talk about these two listings. What was the first listing that we saw here today?
That first listing is a very nice condominium. It's in a little development called Mirador Las Lajas. It's a little bit off the beaten path, but it's still inside of Coronado. It's a 3-bedroom, 5-bath property. In addition to the 3 bedrooms, there's a maid's quarters, so it has a bathroom as well.
Gotcha.
It's 2,196 square feet, so you can tell by the video it's a pretty good size unit. It's only 10 years old. It was built in 2010, and it was completely remodeled and renovated in 2019. The unit comes with a storage locker, which is great to have for your bicycle and your surfboard and your golf clubs and all your stuff. There's only 2 buildings in this development. It's 3 stories, and there's only 2 units per floor, so it's a total of 6 units. So it's low density. It's very, very quiet and private. It's fenced and gated. Has a great pool, as you saw in the video. It's walking distance to the beach. The monthly maintenance fee is $300 a month, and the asking price is only $259,000 for everything you saw in that video.
Holy moly!
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
the prices dropping in Panama or what?
Well,
my goodness.
you know, COVID certainly isn't helping property owners that have properties for sale that are sitting empty. So, you know, in addition to paying the $300 a month, they're paying property managers and cable fees and country club fees, and
Of course.
so yeah, if they're for sale, they're pretty motivated. So even on the 259, there's some motivation factor there with the seller for sure.
Awesome. And both properties, I have to say, you know, I was in wow factor on that first property. Then that second property, you know, beyond the golf course. I mean, just the wooden, the lamp or the light structure in the kitchen. I mean, it just looks very well done. The construction and all the layout design.
The owners did a great job. They went in and completely remodeled it. It is a duplex, so it's an opportunity to live in one half and rent the other half out for income, which is very attractive to a lot of the people that come to Panama wondering how to make some money. In fact, the owner, of course, COVID disrupted rentals this year, so it's not a good year for an example. But in a normal year, they're grossing right around $30,000 a year in rent from the unit right next door. So it's a nice opportunity. It's six bed.
I mean, you buy something and you can make your monthly budget pretty easily there.
Very easily. They actually live across the street from me, so I see how often it's rented. So it's real. It's real. They're not making it up. You know, it's 6 bedrooms. There's 3 bedrooms in the main property where the owners live, and there's 3 bedrooms in the rental side. There's a total of 3 baths. The lot is 15,069 square feet, so it's a good sized lot as well. The building is 4,951 square feet, so just under 5,000 square feet is a lot of square footage.
Yeah.
It is inside the Coronado Country Club, right directly across the street from the golf course. You could walk to the beach from this property. And like I say, it's been completely upgraded. High-end German kitchen.
That was beautiful in the video.
Yeah, modern bathrooms, high ceilings, new aluminum windows. I love that huge covered veranda out front. That's really special to sit out there in the early evenings. It's really nice. They've got lots of fruit trees on this property. In the rear, there's an outdoor covered barbecue area that's really nice. It's built in. It's a really nice barbecue area. The main house has a really large master bedroom upstairs, which I'm sure you saw in the video. Of course, yeah. The second unit, same 3 bedrooms with a separate entrance, completely upgraded, just like the main house. It's got air conditioning, and because it's inside the country club, there's a membership involved. So you have all of the amenities of the country club with the golf and the tennis and the pool and the spa and the gym and the restaurants and the beach club, and it's country club.
The good life.
Yeah,
it's the good life.
It's the good life. Yeah.
So, and what's this home going for? Or this home/condo going for?
Asking price $397,000, and that's basically for 2 units.
Yeah, that's great. Like you can either a brother and sister can buy it as a beach house, or like you said, if you're coming down from the States, you just sold your house for $500,000 in Seattle because it's going cuckoo bird up there, and you got to get out. You come down, you buy that, you have a little extra money, and plus you got revenue coming in each year. Whether you want to work online, get a job here, start a business, open a restaurant, all the creative things us expats do here in Panama.
Right. In fact, these owners both work online. So 2 of the 3 bedrooms in the main unit, they use as like full-on studios with a green screen, and like they do a nice job online, both of them. And like I say, they rent the other side and they make a nice income, and they have a nice life here at the country club.
That's perfect. Remember, guys, if you want more information on either of those 2 listings, more than what Mike told you about here on the show, just email him, free ebook at ipreinfo.com. And of course, along with that, you'll get the free ebook. Mike, tell me, you got some big news coming up. I know there's been a few changes and everything's, it's a good time to update. You know, my wife and I, we started painting the house a month ago, and the house, we looked at each other this morning. The blinds got put in on Friday. And said, man, the house looks good. So, you know, I know there's been, you know, COVID's been an interesting year, but it's also given us time to kind of update things. And you said you have some big news coming up January 1, 2021. What are we doing with the ebook?
Well, we've completely upgraded it. As you said, many things have changed. So we've really taken a considerable amount of time to dig into it, update all of the chapters. We've expanded it. We've added links to source where we got the information, so that you know it's real information. You can click on the link and get the source.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to cover pretty much all the same subjects as the first one, but with the updates and the upgrades with the laws and so forth that have changed. And it's now going to be 62 pages long. So it's a lot of information for free.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. I keep looking at your blue sky. I keep looking at my blue sky. I'm going to go play some soccer in the park with my son.
All right.
It's been an awesome day. Guys, remember, if you want that free ebook at ipreinfo.com. If you want more information about Panama, you want to read the magazine, the past editions of the newspaper, you want to read all these articles and watch more of the Sunday Spin, you can go to dopanama.com. Everything is there. Of course, there's some info as well about our relocation program. We're all about helping people come to this beautiful country, live a good life, because we love what we do and we enjoy helping others find this piece of magic, because I stumbled across it almost 9 years ago, and it's been the most amazing blessing I've ever had. Besides living here, I met a beautiful Panamanian girl. We started a family, and it's just an amazing place. And I want to help share it with you and others that are interested in not living where they're at right now. So give us a shout. You can email me at austin@dopanama.com. Like Michael, myself, and everybody else on the show, we like helping people out, and it's, you know, we can all have some fun together. Come on down to Panama, have a beer, play a round of golf, and yeah, we look forward to seeing you down here. Guys, next week's going to be a little different. We're going to be here same time, but we're going to be a different place. So I'm going to be moving the studio over to the homestead. Maybe we'll be in front of the Christmas tree. Who knows? Maybe we'll be in front of the palm tree. But we'll be over there for a couple weeks. We are going to be doing a couple short lockdowns here in Panama just for the holiday, Christmas and 3 days after, New Year's and 3 days after. So, of course, the Sunday Spin falls on one of those days. So we'll be doing it from there. But we'll see you guys next Sunday, again, 3 p.m. Thank you for tuning in. And, yeah, we'll see you soon. Until then, ciao.